have your attention? First of all, welcome, each and every one of you. My name is Robert Kugler, Police Chief in Saddlebrook in Bergen County, New Jersey. Master of Ceremonies, Facilitator, Moderator, but more importantly, a networker of this organization, the United States Law Enforcement Coalition. I want to welcome all the students here tonight, their families, and our board members, our special guests. But I'm going to call the meeting to order at this time. And I'll ask that everybody please rise as we do the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance. Remain standing, please. At this time, do we have any pastors in the house? Any reverends? Anybody holier than me? Doesn't take much. I usually say a prayer, so if nobody wants to come forward and volunteer, I'll do it for everybody in this room. Let's bring ourselves in the presence of Almighty. Almighty Father, we thank you for this evening's opportunity to come together, to be together, to continue your will, to be guided by you. We know you give us the strength, the character, the United States Law Enforcement Coalition, our students, our parents, all of our special guests, to come together as one tonight and every night and every day as we move forward to encourage these young students and their families to better themselves, to be a part of an organization, to make a difference in their life, in their community's life, in our world. And we ask that you give the blessings not only here, but each and every day as we move forward to continue your will. And in thy name we pray. Amen. At this time, please remain standing and let's give a moment of silence, because today was a special day in New Jersey. It's known as the New Jersey Law Enforcement Memorial. It's when the state of New Jersey comes together and recognizes that we have police officers, law enforcement officers, public safety officials that were killed in the line of duty. This year we recognized 6 officers that passed away, and they are added to the roll call of police officers that perished in the line of duty. Let's give a moment of silence for them and all the others. Thank you, and please be seated. Okay, for tonight's protocol, as many of you probably are aware, we are at our tables. We're chatting with our special guests or our board members or our parents or guardians, whoever we're with. And tonight we're going to continue to do what we always do, and that is come together to listen to 4 students that are going to give presentations tonight. We're going to have a great debate and discussion tonight about a topic that's important to public safety. It's important for every community, not only New Jersey, but across the United States of America and perhaps in all the different countries. We have special guests today, 2 of them from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or the FBI. We have our good friend Ronnie Regan, who's always here, each and every monthly meeting. And we have a police officer from my department, Robert Littlejohn, is here as well. Those 2 FBI agents I want to introduce right here in front of me. And next to my officer on the second. So at this time, we're going to take more informal leave from the program. We're going to help ourselves to our dinner and refreshments. So we're going to come back to our tables and enjoy those refreshments. and enjoy the discussion, and we'll regroup in about 20 to 30 minutes from now. Attention, bringing everybody back to attention of our meeting. Thank you very much. The food was very delicious, by the way, so whoever picked it up and prepared it, or brought it here, or served it, or all of the above, you did a great job. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay. We're about that time in our program where we're going to introduce some of our special guests, and we're going to allow the special guests to come up here and give a little presentation about themselves, who they are, who they work for, and whatever else they would like to say. But this time I just want to recognize one of our students, Mom, Lynn Yu's mom, So Wu. I want to just tell you that you look beautiful. I know your husband's here. Don't take it as a pass or nothing, but I know you were battling private situation that we're not going to talk about too much with you, but you look fantastic, and the good Lord is going to take good care of you, and you're going to be around for a long, long time, not only to see your daughter, but your grandchildren, and maybe your great-grandchildren, and even great-great-grandchildren. So bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, one of the special guests I'd like to call up now is a FBI. Time ago, she came to Saddlebrook and represented the FBI at an event called National Night Out. You don't know what National Night Out is, but it is a nationwide event. It has to do with crime prevention in communities, and it's always on the first Tuesday in August. Fortunate to bring to Saddlebrook, and that's how I got to meet her. She's a wonderful person, and she represents the Federal Bureau of Investigation here in New Jersey. Give a warm welcome to Supervisory Special Agent. All the time you want.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Do I have to use this? No. This is my parent voice when I'm at home, right? So I'm a 9th grader. All right, so good evening. Thank you again for having me. Has anyone ever met an FBI agent before? Okay. You have? Did you ever ask them why they became an agent or what they did before? Yeah? Okay. Take a stab. Anyone have any idea what I did before? Because we're a little unique in that this is our second career, right? You don't go to college and then become an FBI agent, right? Because we want people that have some work experience, that have work experience on top of their life experiences, right? You gotta come, we can be ready to work, organized. Anybody have any idea what I did? No? What good guess? Anyone else? I can do that. Now, I did not grow up wanting to be an agent. Now, I knew about the FBI because I'm half Italian, and you know anything about Italians? They know the FBI, right? And I grew up in Connecticut on the shoreline, so we'll leave it at that. Okay? But seriously, I went to college. I actually started out pre-med because that's what I thought I was supposed to do, right? So I'm an only child. It's just me. I got to be the best. And then I quickly, after my first semester, decided that I'm going to go back to playing sports, and I changed my major to nursing. So I'm a science person. I loved it. I worked in nursing as an ER trauma flight nurse for a number of years. And then I went back and got my master's and became a nurse practitioner, and I worked in cardiovascular surgery. So you're probably like, why? Why would you ever leave that and become an agent? Well, I had the opportunity during my career to meet FBI agents. And one of the first agents I met was in Atlanta. I worked on the medical staff at the 1996 Olympic Games. So we did all this disaster medicine training in case something blew up, and it did. And I met a bunch of agents from the FBI bomb squad who were blowing things up so we could train. And I said, wow, that's really cool. What do you guys do? And he's like, I said, I really like forensics, because I was also doing sexual assault nursing exams in Baltimore City. I worked for the ME's office on call and responded to death scenes. And that's where I actually got to work with police a lot, and I got exposed to what police do. And they said, well, the agent said to me, if you really want to do all of that stuff, you should just join our local police department, because all we do is push paper. So I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, he is right, we do a lot of paper, but we also do a lot of cool things. So with that, I eventually, after 3 years as a nurse practitioner, I met another agent who worked in Washington and convinced me that, like, you should do this. Because to me, it was like the perfect combination. I had all this healthcare, all this forensics, so now I'll just apply it to law. So I have to say, most of the stuff I did in my first career, I don't really do that now. But what I will tell you is that there is not a day that I don't ever want to go to work. And I don't know that everyone can say that. And if some of you in this room can say that, I'm very happy for you. But I loved my previous career. It was important what I did. I worked with a team, right? And I impacted people's lives every day. People came in, they were sick, they were in crisis, all of those things. But I do that very much in this job now. There's those that are impacted for better and for worse. And we do things that have meaning every day. Now, the public may not know that, right? There's lots of things that we do that the public will never know. And that's actually okay, right? Because most of the people I work with, well, actually all of us, we're very mission-oriented, right? We wake up and we have a purpose of why we go to work every day. From the more practical, for the job itself, the FBI hires people from all ends of the spectrum. They used to be lawyers, accountants, military, and police only. Well, no disrespect. Gee, that's like kind of a narrow group of people, right? How interesting is a room full of attorneys, accountants, cops, and military? But actually, the reason we've expanded over the decades is because we had to, because crime has changed, right? Crime isn't just in America. Crime is committed all over the world, and we are victims sometimes, and sometimes the perpetrators are here. So in order for us to do what we do, we have to hire people from all backgrounds, people from scientific backgrounds. We hire teachers. We hire people from healthcare. We still hire our attorneys, our accountants, our military, our police officers, but we also hire people with language specialties. Okay, that's really important, because you know what? There's lots of places here I can't talk to people. I mean, I can talk to them, but they really don't want to talk to me, right? So we have to have different types of people that can connect with other people. Otherwise, we're never going to be able to impact cases and communities. The other thing is, in the FBI, your primary job, you're an investigator, right? You get cases, and you work your case till the end. In this day and age, and I can say this honestly, I have never worked a case, and I worked a lot of organized crime. I've never worked a case without another agency, whether it was a local agency, a state agency, or another federal agency, because that's just how complicated things are now, right? But for me, it also makes it more fun, because think about how powerful we are, not just what we have available to us, but working with everybody else around us. The other thing is too, and I tell you that I love this job, it's never a bad day to go to work. If you spend 5 years working gangs and you're tired of that and you want to do something else, you can go work another type of violation. Maybe in 10, 12 years, you're kind of tired, you've arrested too many people, maybe you want to be a boss, do that. Maybe you have a specialty interest or something from your previous career that you can contribute. We have evidence response teams. We have crisis negotiators. We have SWAT. We have firearms instructors. And I can go on and on and on. We have all these subspecialties that you can contribute to. So I'm going to leave you with that because I don't want to take my colleagues' time and the other guests. But I'll be here, and when you have a moment, if you have questions, by all means, ask. Thank you.
Our next special guest is also a member of the New Jersey FBI, and his name is Timothy Cho, special.
I don't have as much to say as I'm just going to run down basically the path I took to get to where I'm at right now. I'm Korean, like most of you guys in the room, and I grew up in this area. I grew up in Long Island, actually, and just like any other Asian kid who goes to college, they have to be pre-med, so I was pre-med like everybody else. And my mom's like, all right, well, you got to be either a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, because that's the only jobs that are okay for Korean people. So I was like, all right, I'm going to make some money, and I'll be an engineer then, because halfway through college, I'm like, I'm not good at this biology, physics stuff, so that's why I started studying engineering. So I graduated with a degree in industrial engineering in Chicago, and while I was in Chicago also, I was also doing a lot of computer stuff too. Started off the first 2 years computer science, so I got that background, and then I went into doing industrial engineering because it felt a little more practical than just sitting in front of a computer and just coding all day. So that's why I went into that. After college, I went through a little bit of soul searching. I moved out to California, to LA for a couple years. Just kind of flipped a coin, and I'm like, you know what, it's either going to be LA or San Fran. I've never been to California in my life, and I want to check it out. So I went out there, worked all sorts of jobs out there, a lot of tech-related jobs for about 3 years. I taught some classes in computers out there, some basic IT, because I had a tech support background from college, for the business school over there, and it was my interest. I like tech a lot. I'm a tech enthusiast. So after 3 years, my mom was like, all right, well, you got to do something with your life now, because you got to be a doctor or a lawyer. What's going to be now? So I'm like, I'm a little late for going to med school, so I was like, all right, I'll take the LSAT. And I took the LSAT while I was in California, and ended up coming back to Chicago and went to law school for 3 years. And honestly, before I went to law school, I knew nothing about being a lawyer. I had no intention of being a lawyer ever, really. All I know is I can write pretty well, and I'm not good at arguing or debating very well. But I'm like, all right, well, I'm a good writer, so I could at least do that. And I went to law school. I survived, did okay. I graduated with a JD and a master's in intellectual property. So intellectual property is like patents, copyrights, trademarks, trade secrets. And I'm like, okay, I'll go into IP law because it's tech related and I can use my engineering background for some use. So thereafter I did contract work for the US Patent Office in DC. I was kind of shooting down people's dreams a little bit, because I was an international patent examiner for people. So they present their patent applications to me and I just reject them all and give them grounds for rejection. And it was kind of like just a lot of research into the electrical engineering, mechanical engineering devices that they were trying to patent. So after about 2 years, I kept looking elsewhere. I'm like, you know what, I don't like what I'm doing right now. Maybe I'll go into litigation, possibly to go argue cases in court. Maybe I'll do that stuff because this patent prosecution was not really my thing, really. So I monitored my law school career board and I saw some government jobs on there. And I saw Secret Service, I saw FBI, I saw a couple other agencies. And I'm like, hey, sure, why not? You know what, I've always wanted to be in the military because after college, me and my best friend were supposed to go to the military together. And he ended up going to the Army and he was in the North Korean border for 5 years, thereabouts, as an officer. And I wanted to be a Marine. But I'm not a very good swimmer, so that wasn't going to work out too well. So I just ended up having my crazy soul searching tour out to California instead. And I always in the back of my mind, I always thought maybe I could go be a Marines JAG officer coming out of law school. And I talked to the recruiter and I talked to him. I was like, should I do it? I don't know if I should do it. And but then I was getting kind of old. I felt like, I'm not in the best shape anymore to be a Marine. And I was like, I'm not sure about that. So this came up, and I put in for it honestly, and I'm like, I'm never gonna get a call back. This is government. Government takes forever for everything. You file these like 95-page applications, background check investigation applications, and you never hear back. A couple months later, I heard back. it took a long time. It took about a year and a half, which is pretty average actually, to get to the FBI. Background check went fine. I'm pretty squeaky clean. Really, I was like a rule follower growing up. I never drank till after I was 21. Never, you know. I never smoked or anything, and never did drugs. That's a big thing. The FBI, no drugs. I really, what I was looking for really when I was looking into the government was, or the military in general, was like purpose in my life really I really want to serve this country because you know, my parents were immigrated here a long time ago, and honestly, like, I was very thankful to this country for all the opportunities I had here. And that's why I wanted to basically give back to this country in some way, like shape or form, like whether it's through the military, whether through law enforcement, somehow. I don't want to be like just making money for a big corporation somewhere. So that's why I really want to have purpose in my life and my career. So that's why, yeah, basically this is why me and my best friend wanted to go into this in the first place, into military and law enforcement. So thereafter I went through the process, took a year and a half, went through the academy. It was fun only in hindsight, really. Now you look back on it and it was good times back then. I was originally slated to be a cyber guy when I first got hired on. We had something called career paths back then. And I was like supposed to be the cyber nerd guy, working with like hackers and malware and everything. But they put me here in New Jersey and they're going to work drugs and gangs. So I was like, all right, you know, brilliant, because I mean that's what we're trained for at the academy anyway, and you're ready for anything. It doesn't matter whether it's cyber, whether it's CT, whether it's a criminal. It doesn't matter. You're going to work it, you know, whether you're background or not. And I'm so glad I got to do that, because I mean that year and a half I was there, it was like the best time ever. We were like a fraternity, we were brothers, so we did everything together. We broke bread together, we played basketball, flag football, hockey in the morning, 6 in the morning together. We did everything together, late nights, and it was just like, it was a brotherhood, and I loved it. And the work was awesome. When you come into the bureau, we have something called training agents, where you're basically mentored by somebody, and I got mentored by a guy who like basically gave me the reins to his drug cases, and he's like, run these guys, you know, jewel drug buys, you know, wire these guys up, and you know, get as much, you know, cocaine, heroin off the streets as possible, and it was awesome. It was so fun. And meanwhile, the guy was he was off getting trained in Spanish, because he's a white guy from Alabama, and he doesn't speak any Spanish at all, but he wanted to get trained up in it. And that's the great thing about the bureau, was that they gave us like free training if you really wanted it, whether it's Spanish or Kim was trained in Russian, to speak Russian, and it's a great opportunity to whatever violation you're working, if you can learn those language skills. So he went off for like 6 months to go learn Spanish while I was running his drug cases and running all the sources and running, you know, doing drug buys and drug rips, and it was a great time. After a year and a half, they're like, okay, well, you're going to go work national security now, because we had you coming in as cyber, and you're a cyber nerd, so that's what you should be doing, you know. So I wasn't too happy about that initially, you know, because I was like, hey, I'm just getting used to my brothers here, you know, like these guys, we live and we die together, basically. It's been great. I've been working national security for the last 8 years or so, and it's, I can't really talk too much about it, really, about what we do, but a lot of stuff you see in the news. It's not just terrorism stuff, it's also like the whole, you know, election meddling stuff, the Russia-China stuff. It's in the news, and it's a lot more spooky. It's a lot more. I can't really tell you guys about it. I can't tell my wife. I can't tell anybody, you know, at all. Like, it's kind of hush hush. But it's a lot of fun every day. You know, it's a lot more brainy now. I think our techniques are a lot less. Like kicking down doors. We don't do that quite as much anymore. I wish we could do that a little more often, but my wife kind of put the kibosh on that a couple years ago when I was going out for SWAT. I was going to go out for SWAT team, and then she's like, "No, you're not doing that." You know, so yeah. So I have some collateral duties where I get to go out and do fun stuff. You know, just not in SWAT. But if you guys have any other questions, about what I do right now, I'm not the casework, but on a day-to-day basis, or like my collateral duties or whatever, you can ask me afterwards. I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably in the same shoes as I was, thinking you're going to be pre-med or be a CEO one day or something, or be like a big-time lawyer one day. But honestly, like, this is my dream job, and I feel very, very fortunate, very, very blessed. Every single day I come to work, and I'm like, man, I have the best job ever. And they force you, they kick you out and tell you to get retired at age 57, but I might stay to 57. I don't know. I'm not really itching to get out. Really, I'm about halfway through. And I'm loving every minute. And honestly, like, I think 5-10 years down the line from now, I'll have the same feeling, but I'll probably be doing something else. Because you're constantly doing something else and trying different things out and learning. You're learning every single day on the job. Not just at the academy, and that's what's so fun about it, is that you do a little bit of everything, in our job. So, all right, next one.
To understand their culture, and to celebrate with them. And their boss, the SAC of the FBI, was there, special agent in charge, as well as a lot of other officials from the state. And if you watch the room of about 200 people, you will see what networking is. You will see people working the crowd, getting their business card. Today I probably got about 30 emails myself from people that have taken my card. And there's a big value in this because I can call Kimberly's boss at any time, and you know what? They'll answer the phone. I can ask for a favor, and they'll try to help me. As well as most of the other people. So in life, as I said before, you need your little Rolodex of life, of people in it, in various areas. And it doesn't only have to be in law enforcement, it can be in the corporate world, it can be in the medical field. You're a nurse and a PA. One of my friends is Dr. Oz, and Nana Oz from TV. And my oldest brother was diagnosed with cancer, and immediately we were all shocked. Through networking, a phone call to him. My brother was in Columbia University Medical Center the next day, seen by the head of nephrology. So it's networking. And it's an important part of life. So even though you're young, as well as your parents are young, everyone's younger. That's the subject a little bit. My godson, who was Korean, says, everywhere I go, I look around, I'm the only Asian in the room. And now he has me looking in the room, and I'm the oldest person in the room. So it's hard. And when I came here tonight, people were thanking me again for coming, and I have to change this and say thank you, because I feel really blessed to be able to know the students here and their parents and the organization, because you give me so much. I'm a little biased too. My table is going to kick butt tonight in their speeches. We went through it, they're great. And I'm blessed to hear the stories from the other two guests. Kim, you blew me away. What a great story. And to change careers so drastically is great. And I was talking about my table, they're from the FBI. And I was saying, you know what, they're human. They get dressed like we do. And my daughter's CIA, and you know what, she's still a little whatever, and she's human. And I've met people that work for her agency, and they're human. And you have the opportunity that most people don't. Tonight, before they leave, you have the opportunity of talking with them, meeting with them, getting to know them, getting the contacts and the networks in their life. And this is a great experience for all of you. I hope you're all taking advantage of it. I'm looking forward to the debate. My speech isn't as long as theirs, because you've already heard me too many times. And well, thank you for having me.
Appreciate your time here as well. Our next special guest is a good friend of mine because he works in Saddlebrook Police Department. He's a police officer. His name is Robert Littlejohn. He's with the Saddlebrook Police Department about 4 years. And probably 4 years before that, he worked for other police departments, starting at the Montclair State University Police Department, and then transitioning to the Palisades Interstate Parkway Police Department. And then for some reason, he seen the light in Saddlebrook, and he said, I want to work for that guy. And he came to Saddlebrook, but he's 4 years with us. He's 8 years total. He's a great guy. Let's give a round of applause. Robert. Robert was about twice the size of what he is. He lost a grand total of, I don't know how many pounds, but maybe talk about your water you're drinking. He brought in like a gallon of alkaloid water or something like that, but it must be good for you.
Good evening. Like the chief said, my name is Robert Littlejohn. Born and raised in Patterson, New Jersey, so 20 minutes from here, not too far. The oldest of my mother and father kids. I have a younger brother who was a New Jersey State Trooper. Now he's a detective with Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. I have a younger sister who does here. A little bit about myself. So I grew up in Patterson. I went to Panther Academy, which is a Patterson and NASA together for high expectations and results. It's a science and math technology high school. I was part of the first graduating class. Played high school sports, football, basketball, threw shot put and discus. I also was kind of I was captain of the chess team, and I was on the robotics team. So that was my high school career. I got accepted to William Patterson University on a full academic scholarship. While at William Patterson, I studied business management and professional sales. I have 2 bachelors in business. Graduated from William Patterson. While we were in college, my younger brother, who was engaged at the time, got his fiancée pregnant. He opted and said, you know what, he has a degree in criminal justice and computer science. He was the nerd out of the 2 of us. I graduated high school with a 3.89 GPA. He graduated with 4.14. He opted and said, you know what, I got a kid on the way. My father retired law enforcement. He retired from the State County Sheriff's Department. My brother said, you know what, Daddy was able to do it for us. My uncle's retired Patterson cop. My uncle was able to do it for his family. Let me look into law enforcement. So my brother went to the state police. I said, you know what, we're only 13 months apart. I'm looking into it too. Got to the background check, everything going. They told me I had to be able to swim. Kid in Patterson, there's not too many pools in Patterson. Didn't know how to swim. So I said, you know what, I don't need this right now. You go and do the state police thing. He did it. A year later, after graduating from college, I was offered a job with Wells Fargo Financial, being a credit manager. It was great. I was 22, going on 23 years old, making $60,000 a year. No kids, no mortgage, no nothing. I was on top of the world. A couple months later, found out I had a kid on the way. At that point, let me think about what I know. While I was in college, I was a bouncer. So I was, like the chief said, when I was in college, I ranged from about 280 to 315 pounds. So I was a bigger guy. So I was bouncing. So I kind of like the authority part of it. Law enforcement was my family. I said, you know, let me try this whole cop thing that I was here to to me. My father, again, retired from State County Sheriff's Department. Like previous speaker said, networking is key. My father retired from there. He knew the current under-sheriff. She was a warden when he worked there. They were starting the academy class in 6 weeks. My background wasn't done. My application wasn't done. At that time, I was 292 pounds. I go to the doctor. The doctor says, listen, your EKG comes back good. Your health seems like you're in good shape. However, if you're a big guy, I don't think you're going to pass the academy. I got a kid on the way. Where I'm from, if you want something bad enough, you're going to go out there and get it. So, being that I had somebody that was going to be depending on me in a couple months, and I needed this career to get me through the rest of my life so that my child had benefits, my child had good health insurance, and I had financial stability to get them what they needed, I said, let me try this police thing out. So while working at Wells Fargo Financial, shortly prior to that merger with Wachovia Bank, that was another part of my fear of trying to figure out something a little bit more stable because I didn't want to be in a profession where one company could take over another and I would lose my job. Again, I was making $64,000, 23 years old when Wells Fargo merged with Wachovia. My pay dropped from 64 to 48, and they tell you to make your money back with commission. I don't want to live the rest of my life like that. I want my pay to be my pay. So when my annual day come up, I know what my money is, and I don't have to bet on nobody else. I don't have to worry about my performance objectives, none of that stuff. So while I was working at Wells Fargo, I went to the police academy. I was originally hired by the State County Sheriff's Department as a Class 2 officer, as a deputy sheriff. 4 months into that academy, Montclair State University was hiring. So let me try this out. become a full-time cop, because as a class 2, you're a volunteer, so you work as needed, and it wasn't no pay behind it. Like, we're not looking at game where you get paid to, to show up to do things. We actually you had to do X amount of hours a month, and that was that. So I said, let me try this cop thing. I didn't really want to be a cop on a college campus for too long, because it's a college campus. My mind, thinking police, 23, 24 years old, running and gunning, chasing bad guys. On a college campus, how much that you think you're going to do? Believe it or not, you actually do a decent amount of it, because college kids, they come from all over. It's melting pot. So you get people from all types of backgrounds and everything that come there, and they come with their baggage from back home. So it was a great experience for me. I did Montclair State, so I ended up doing 10 months of the police academy straight. So I started at 292, graduated at like 245. That was good for me. I went from Montclair State, opted to go to Palisades State Parkway up in Alpine. I was there for just under 2 years when I realized I didn't want to be a highway cop forever. I thought I would like it because my brother was a trooper. So he's a trooper. I'm working on the highway. It's the same thing. We're 13 months apart again. Let me just try to figure things out. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to chase car accidents and look at deer all night. It's not what I want to do. It was great for the running and gunning part of the job, because it was a major vessel for narcotic from New York City to upstate New York, Upper Bergen County. Everything came up to Palisades Parkway. So if you wanted to work and have a good time, it was a good place to be. The money wasn't the best, however, the work experience is irreplaceable. While I was there, I started looking around and realized, okay, I need to figure out what I want to do really, really long term. And then I started looking at Lower Bergen County and what departments are closest to where I'm from. Again, Patterson is in Passaic County, but Saddlebrook is only 6 minutes away. I had a good friend of mine that I worked with when I was in high school, worked at the shop right together. He lived in Saddlebrook. I knew Saddlebrook was a good community, a very family-oriented community, and I felt like my next move needed to be my best move for my family. So I applied to Saddlebrook Police Department. Thank God I got the job. There's a couple of us that wanted it, and God blessed me with the opportunity. Now I've been in Saddlebrook, got there in October of 14, so I'm going on 5 years in Saddlebrook. Again, I did 2 years, just under 2 years in the Palisades Parkway and 1 in Montclair State. Back to what you were saying, I know my friend Brandon and Sean, they're going to actually win this debate tonight, so just so I got money on my table, I think my team was going to take over. We had a good conversation, we were bonding, we were really talking about the law enforcement stuff as much, but we got a connection. When I was in high school and college, again, before the kids, I collected sneakers, tons of sneakers. So we started talking and we realized that we have a mutual bond. So we talk about networking, but just because you're in a room for one aspect doesn't mean that has to dictate, your relationship and what you're going. You believe it's like, hey, I just found out the, infrared phones are going to drop, and can you help me get them? And it's about establishing relationships. So relationships is really big in life, period. So it may not be professional related, but it could be very personal. It could be so many different aspects of it. So I'm actually longer than what I thought it was going to be. I will, just encourage you all to, every time you're in a room with somebody, try to take something from it, because that opportunity happens for a reason. I'm here. I thank Chief, I thank Daniel for inviting me. I didn't know this was going to happen. And I'm happy for the opportunity, and I'm happy that I met new people, and look forward to working with you guys in the future.
Great job. Great officer as well, with a lot of passion to serve his community and his profession. We're glad to have him. At this time, I think I'll introduce our board member, Sung Cho, the Youth Committee Division head here, who will lead us in a great presentation with the students and everybody that's here today on a topic that's very important to not only each and every community that we live in, but our society as a whole. And it has to do with the legalization of marijuana for recreational purposes of those that are 21 years of age or older. That's somewhere on the radar and somewhere out there in New Jersey. Tom?
Okay, as you might be aware that New Jersey is considering to legalize recreational marijuana. Hasn't been passed yet, but it's in the works. And we figure that perhaps it's a good time for us to give a little discussion and debate amongst a group that's for the legalization and for a group that's against the legalization. So we have you do some research on the background. Now that you got the research done and written the essays, what we're going to do is we're going to separate into two groups. In each group will have a table full of for and another table full of against. Okay? Pros and cons on each set. Along with that, we have great guests today. Some guests were also working on the drug-related cases, so they will give a great contribution to the discussions, and I think that they are all ready to go. Right? They all claim they're going to win the debate. Let's see how it goes. So, the presenters, I'd like you to present, in a short version, present your case in your table to your debaters. Okay? Each presenter will basically summarize your points, and upon summary, then we will open the table amongst the two groups to talk about it among yourselves. Okay? At the end, the presenters will come up, summarize their presentation and what they also found during the debate. So basically, summarize the debate at the same time. Okay? Oh yeah. What we're gonna have to do is, okay, Brandon Huang. Okay, you're gonna go to table A. Who's the table A? Table A is Charlotte right here. And from table A, Len Yun, we'll go to table C. So these two tables are against legalization of marijuana. Then we have two tables on this side that are for legalization of recreational marijuana. So basically,